It's the March 2025 Leon's Charity Chat. Thanks to Leon's and Simcoe for doing this and providing the opportunity to talk to charities within Haldimand-Norfolk. And today I'm joined by Mark Rapley, who's a member of the Haldimand-Norfolk Concert Band. How are you, Mark?
I'm well, Dave. Thanks for having me today.
I appreciate you taking the time. I don't know enough about it. Can you talk a little bit about the origins of this group? How long they've been around?
Well,
What do they do?
what do we do? First of all, we play music. And the vision of the group is we are going to provide the Haldimand and Norfolk regions an opportunity to experience live music and across a variety of genres that are not commonly played live anymore. We're now in our 70th season. Hard to believe.
70th?
70th. So we'll be doing a little concert, I think, to celebrate, in addition to all of our regularly scheduled programming this spring, which is quite a number of publicly available concerts.
So where can I find out? And I noticed you guys played in Dover, you play in Waterford, you play all over, which is
All over.
great.
Mhm.
Do you guys Facebook, I guess?
We've got a Facebook page,
Okay.
Haldimand-Norfolk Concert Band, and that's the best way to keep up to date with what's going on with us. We put all of our concert dates on there, addresses and directions, and try to help people know where we're going to be.
You said different genres. Can you elaborate a bit?
Absolutely. So our book covers everything from Broadway to movie scores to pop music to big band and swing to marches and a little bit of classical. There is truly something for everybody in our show.
And I knew you. I'm going to age you a little bit. I remember seeing you play saxophone in high school, and I was blown away about how good you were.
Thanks.
That's continued. Obviously, you're playing sax. Any other instruments?
Well, I'm the drummer actually in the Haldimand-Norfolk Concert
Oh,
Band.
really? I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
But do
So
you play saxophone anymore?
well, I try to stay in shape, but what I'm finding is everybody needs a drummer, and so if you want to be in demand, you pick up the instrument that most people want and need. On that subject, if I could just put a little plug here for recruiting for the band.
Yeah, for sure.
So we're just over 40 members right now. We are looking for new players in a few different sections. We're looking for flute, clarinet, trombone, French horn in particular. But I also want to emphasize we're open to players of all wind instrument types. If you played an instrument in high school, if you were in a concert band or a wind orchestra and you want to get back into it, we are the place for you.
How often do you guys practice?
Every week, every Thursday evening.
All right, that's cool. And like you said, how many members did you say? 40?
Just above 40 right now.
Wow, I didn't that's amazing. So when you guys do a show, you do a show.
Oh, it's a production.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
What led you to this? Obviously, I know you were much involved in the band in high school. Was that just a natural progression?
It was something of one. In high school, my musical education was focused on wind instruments, and I played drums just on the side, just as a hobby, a little extra thing, um, maybe a distraction. But what ended up happening is I joined the Haldimand-Norfolk Concert Band as a regular member, maybe 13 or 14 years ago, and the need in the group at the time was percussion. So I got a little more serious about it, and that's turned into some other opportunities elsewhere. And I'm pleased to say that they've been putting up with me behind the drum set for just about 13 years now, which is great.
I didn't know that. I just assumed you were still a saxophone player. What about folks that have if someone wants to join but they're not, maybe they had a few lessons here and there but they're not really strong. Do you guys encourage that? Do you help them?
We do. The sections are really, they're like little families. You have 5 trumpets and 5 or 6 saxophones, and people help each other work on things. So I think my message to somebody out there, if you have an instrument and you once played and it's been a little while, or you're looking to kind of level up your skill, as long as you've got kind of a basic idea of how to read music and you've maybe played in a group before, even if it was a long time ago, we want you, because we will help you bring your skill along and provide a welcoming, supportive environment to do so.
I got to ask, what kind of music do you listen to? I'm just
Uh,
curious.
Everything. Yesterday was Beethoven's Seventh, and today's probably some Rush. I have a bunch of cleaning and house chores I have to do, so just pop on 2112 and let it rip.
It's funny, because I do a little podcast with Randy Homo, who's he's a DJ locally, and he's been doing it for a number of years. And we were just going through the 1980s on a recent show, And he didn't bring up Rush, so I had to bring up Rush. Like,
You have to.
dude,
I'm sorry.
how can you not?
I will go on record. I know this is going out into public. Power Windows is one of my favorite albums of theirs. It's so underappreciated. The songcraft is beautiful. They figured out how to take 10 or 12 minutes worth of composition from the 1970s, from their prog period, and they figured out how to squish it into a 4 or 5 minute song. And it's just so dense and so layered. Beautiful stuff.
They're going to be one of those bands in 50 years where people go, they were way ahead of their time. Like they're going to,
Yeah.
right? I mean, I felt that, I'd never seen them live. My wife did. So I always, she holds that over me a little bit, but I mean,
She should. Yeah.
Thanks for that help, Mark. but yeah, I agree with you. And that's the other part about what you guys play. When you said music scores, I got to be honest with you, Star Wars jumped in my head right off the bat. And those are the types of things that as we age, it's important to remember, right? It is whenever I hear an orchestra play something and it's like from a movie or something, I go right to the movie.
Oh yeah.
Like I'm just like I'm enthralled again. So I mean, you guys must bring that out in people whenever they hear you play it.
Yes, we know that works. We want to play things that people recognize, and we want to play it in a fashion that is faithful to the original, such that people are going to know right away, oh, that's what I'm listening to. But we also want to show the depth of the composition that you didn't realize. A pop song, and not all pop songs are like this, but the ones that we choose to play, they are intricate and complex enough that they can support 40 musicians across 7 or 8 different sections playing different things and bringing out different parts of that composition.
It's always interesting when you hear maybe an old rock song revised and played by an orchestra. It's incredible. Like you said, the depth of what Zeppelin might have been playing at the time, right? And suddenly you're taking that and turning this into something. I mean, it was beautiful to begin with, but it's just another level, right?
Yes. Yeah.
When you bring in the
stuff that
strings.
survives, the things that make it through that 50 or that 2 generations worth of remembering, that stuff is infinitely replayable. It's infinitely rearrangeable so that you can keep presenting it in different fashions. And that's what we think about when we're programming for the band. And I have to give a little bit of a huge amount of credit to our musical director, Joanne Romano, who's been with us since 2013. And she puts in an enormous amount of work going through our library, finding new music, finding a program that presents all these different genres that we like to play, but that's going to be authentic to us as a group and recognizable to our audience.
And I'm holding you up here, but I got so many questions. The passion within the group. Can you talk about that? Because I bet you it's just so strong, isn't it?
It is. I think there are a few members who have been in the group longer than I've been alive. And I'm not going to put any numbers on it for their sake.
How old are you now?
No, verboten. No, but the thing there that I feel every Thursday night at rehearsal is that this is a family. And we're a family who likes to play music together, which is one of the most special things you will find anywhere. Everybody is interested in each other's lives, and the rehearsals are an opportunity to check in with each other and see each other in a musical sense, because that's why we're there first, but second, because we care about each other and we want to know what's going on.
I love that component because it's like a team, right? It makes everything function. Everybody has a role. And if the support is beside you, that team's going to roll. It's going to work every time.
Absolutely. And for us, the product of the work and the product of what we do in the process is we get an audience full of people, and it's sometimes 7 or 8 shows in a row, 7 or 8 weeks in a row. And it's a big crowd, and they're energized by it, which validates all the work that we're putting in to prepare.
Yeah. And you guys are a nonprofit. You don't make any money at this. You just do it because that's what you want to do, correct?
Correct. One thing that's really important to us is that our publicly available concerts, unless they are a specific fundraiser, that they be free admission. So that you can walk through the door when we're not asking you for anything. If you feel inclined to give, then of course you may donate, and that's usually split between the band and the host venue so that it benefits 2 parties. But the bottom line is we exist so that we can spread music to the community, And the lowest barrier to entry is the barrier to entry that we prefer, which is free.
Is it the smile that you see in the audience or the foot tapping? What is the moment for you?
Well, our conductor would say that the band is never looking at the audience because they're always watching the conductor. But you and I know better, which is that when you have a moment where you're not playing, and if you've rehearsed well enough, you can keep a sense of the song in your head. I do like to look at the audience, and especially when we're playing things from old movies. We're playing things that resonated, that were prevalent in pop culture, let's say a generation or two ago, and I see the light in people's faces because it's taking them back to a beautiful part of their lives. That is priceless. That's why we do it.
Yeah. And on another note too, one of the things that Randy and I had talked about on a recent show was music is timeless. And I love that because we were talking about an old song in the 70s, and I said, if that came out today, it would still be a hit because it's relevant. Like it fits. And we were just talking about how music just doesn't stop, does it? It's just one of those, we're lucky to have it. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. I don't know that anybody could really explain music, but part of its beauty and its wonder is that it is so unlike anything else that we've ever made as a species. It doesn't fade, and the true works of genius are always genius. And those are the things that, in our little community band, we're trying to say, look, if we play something that Bach wrote 400 plus years ago, we're doing it because we inherently just recognize as humans there's still something valuable in this and
Right.
timeless.
Well, I think I read somewhere too, there was music before language.
Yes.
I think that says it all right there, right?
Sure does.
How do people get a hold of you guys if they want to get involved?
So to contact us, the best way is to send us a message on Facebook. You can find us at Haldimand-Norfolk Concert Band, and send us a ping there. And whether it's an inquiry about becoming a new venue for us to play at, whether you're a member who wants to join, whatever your inquiry is, send it through on Facebook, and we will get you in touch with the right person on our executive who handles that function.
Mark, thanks for doing this today. Keep up the great work, okay?
Thanks a lot, Dave. It was my pleasure. Thanks for having me.